Hello Retro Poppers, welcome to another exciting episode. Today I got another fantastic Dreamcast video for you. Going back to the Dreamcast, back to 3 more fantastic fighting games on the system. Back then the genre was very popular, so there are quite a few fantastic fighting games on the Sega Dreamcast that did come out. Even though it didn't have a perfect controller, it did get quite a few of the fantastic fighting games and they were great. This is probably going to be quite a bit of videos because there were tons of fighting games back then in the late 90s, early 2000s, and the fighting game genre was very popular, so there were quite a few fantastic fighting games on this system, especially on the Sega Dreamcast. So without further ado, sit back and let's check it out. First game on the list, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Now, last week a lot of people asked, where's Marvel vs. Capcom 2? It's coming. It was just so obvious that I held off on it. But you do have arcade versus mode and a training mode. And you do not have online play, but you do have a total of 56 players. And this is really awesome. So you pick a tag of 3 characters and you can tag in, tag out, or you can just call for assists. You have 2 different types of assists where they can help you, and you can switch in and out of characters on the fly. So if you do not like that character fighting that certain character, you can switch them out on the fly, which is really awesome. And the game is fluid, fast, full of animations, over the top super moves that you can pull off. The music's fantastic. Everything about this game is really good. It's the 4th installment of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, and boy, this one really kicked off a new generation of fighters for people playing these types of games, this genre, because arcades were busy and there were tons of players who loved this game, and just to have it at a home port was awesome. The only thing that held this back slightly, Sega Dreamcast controller, but they did it really smartly because you have the assist buttons. So you could hit assist 1 with the L trigger, or the right trigger would be for the assist 2. So it didn't really affect the gameplay at all. It actually worked really well. But you could use arcade joysticks to this. You could use different types of controller adapters to use different controllers on your Sega Dreamcast. There were even PlayStation 2 adapters. There were Sega Saturn adapters. So there was tons of ways to customize what kind of joystick you wanted to use, or controller you wanted to use for this game. So as you can see, the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age of Heroes is a fantastic game. Really looks great. And like I said, really fluid and over the top gameplay. I'm not very good at it, but I do love it. I sort of tend to play some of the characters that I played from the previous installments, like the Spider-Mans or the Ryus from other games. But fantastic game. Let me know in the comments what your favorite characters are for the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Because I'm sure there are some people out there who are really good at this fighting game and have a lot more experience than I do. But definitely fantastic, worth owning, a 9 out of 10 on the Sega Dreamcast. Number 2 on my list is a hidden gem. Not many people talk about it. Great fighting game, really love it actually, and that is SNK's The Last Blade 2. Beautiful game. What can I say about it? Beautiful sprites, great 2D fighter, fantastic, similar to the Samurai Showdown games. And you get to choose a total of 18 characters, and there's 3 unlockables later on. Fantastic story, beautiful characters, like I said, beautiful music. Love some of the way they done some of the intros to the fighting game, the graphics. So you have story mode, versus mode, time attack, training mode, art gallery, a demo viewer, and options. So as you can see, the presentation of the graphics are very beautiful of the characters. You gotta play it because the music's beautiful, the way they introduce the characters when they fight. They have these beautiful cutscenes into the fighting game, as you'll see here in a second. But right here, as you can see, they have these little introductions. There's kind of a little bit graphics going into the game. Just beautiful graphics. I really love the art direction of this game. And the game is really fun. It has a really cool cast of characters. They all are a little bit different from each other. They all have their inspirations of why they're fighting to destroy this person at the end, and it's just really well done. I really like it, but I didn't play this till the Sega Dreamcast, so I went back and experienced the first one, and the first one didn't come to the Sega Dreamcast, but it is good also. But definitely the second one took the series to a new level, and unfortunately was never continued on after it. So there are only 2 games in the series, but fantastic. Really love it. Really love some of the cast of characters. Let me know if you've played this game and what your favorite character is, because there are some interesting characters in here, and it's really well done. It really works great. The limitations of the Dreamcast controller didn't hamper a lot of these games. Somehow they worked around it, and this is another game that works really great with the Sega Dreamcast original controller. But like I said, if you had an arcade stick, you were really in heaven, because you're getting all these great arcade ports of fighting games. So definitely a fantastic game, definitely worth checking out, owning in your collection if you can, because it's a very beautiful game. And like I said, that is The Last Blade 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. Number 3 on my list, another obvious game but fantastic, Street Fighter Alpha 3. Fantastic, came out in 1999. Really fantastic game. I would give this game right off the bat a 9.5 out of 10. Really fantastic. I really love the Street Fighter Alpha games. Awesome games. The best game, the level to play, or best mode to play, is World Tour mode. I like, because you can kind of level up your character, whatever character you choose, and there are sometimes like 1-on-1 battles, 2-on-1 battles, and so on in World Tour mode. When you level that character up, you can use them in arcade mode. So you can see the graphics are just fantastic. They speak for themselves. Really beautiful graphics, fantastic, fun, fluid gameplay. Everything about this game is just fantastic. And if you have an arcade stick, or if you just have some like other controllers to hook up to your Sega Dreamcast, it's even better. But really a fantastic game. Really love the game. Everything about this game is fluid. The music, the graphics, gameplay. Street Fighter Alpha 3 is one of my favorite fighting games. I believe there are a total of 31 characters. I could be wrong. Could be 36. I always get confused how many there are. There are different versions of Alpha 3 over the years, and they've added some, taken some away, so I'm not 100% sure what the Sega Dreamcast has, but it's over 30 characters at least. And a fantastic list of some of the most fantastic fighters in the Alpha, in the Street Fighter series, I should say. I'm always a Blanca fighter, so that's my favorite, but definitely fantastic game, and definitely worth owning on your Sega Dreamcast. This is one of the best of the fighting games on the Sega Dreamcast. It's right up there with the ones I mentioned in the last video, up there with Soul Calibur, up there with Dead or Alive 2, up there with the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's definitely, any fighting fans should have this in their collection, especially if they have a Sega Dreamcast. And if you don't, this game's been ported to multiple systems over the years. I think it's even on some of the newest systems, so there are different ways to play it. It's even on some of the collections they brought out. The Fighters collection, I believe. It's on the Street Fighter collection, anniversary collection they came out with. So anyways, that is it for Street Fighter Alpha 3. So what'd you think of my list of 3 fantastic games for the Sega Dreamcast? We've seen 6 total so far. There are quite a few more, so there are going to be other episodes of these fantastic games for the Sega Dreamcast. But this is my list of 3 more fantastic games for the Sega Dreamcast. Have you played any of these games? Do you like any of these games? Do you hate any of these games? And do you have any games that I should add for my list? Ones that you think are really good that haven't been covered yet? I probably already going to add them to the next list or the one after, but you never know, I may not know about one. So anyways, that's it for this episode. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and as always, have a good one. Take care, everybody. Until next time, have a good one.
Thank you, my friend.
Retro.